All right, welcome back. Episode 227 of Chaotically Intolerant. We took last week off, kind of unplanned, but just schedules didn't really match up. So, we just decided to take the week off. We're going to talk NFL week 11 and 12. We're going to talk Bills, Texans Thursday night football game last night. Are the Bills in panic mode? I don't know. We'll talk about it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Draft America. Go check out Spring Hill Sports Cards. Let's go. All right, Mike, let's open the show. We're going to talk about the most recent thing. The Buffalo Bills have lost. They lost Thursday night, and that officially catapults the Indianapolis Colts to the top of the AFC Championship odds. The Indianapolis Colts are currently the betting favorites to win the AFC. I don't believe it. I don't trust the Colts. I think if you take that bet, you are a loser. You are going to lose money. But hey, what the hell do I know? I'm just an emotional Colts fan. Are we in panic mode for the Buffalo Bills right now?
Oh yeah, because they don't look like a championship team to me, and I don't see how that'll change. I'm very confident this year. Like last year, I was 100% certain Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens would be in the Super Bowl. That was a pretty easy one, but I knew there was no way it was going to be some upstart team that got in, like Denver as a 7 seed or Houston. This year, I'm almost fully confident the other way that it won't be the Chiefs or the Bills. I think the Bills have a lot of issues, as far as like big play receivers. I don't think they're that good defensively. I think Houston's got a really good defense, like a really good defense. And I wonder if Davis Mills being in the lineup is actually better for them, takes some pressure off Stroud. It feels like the expectations are so high, and Mills is just a very relaxed, even keeled guy. Maybe he's the right guy, right, for at least for right now, for them. But I think Buffalo, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just this team just doesn't have that it factor. They don't have that killer instinct. Yes, they can put up points, but I don't know. It's just an eye test thing for me. But I don't think that they will be in the Super Bowl.
I think I was going crazy last night just watching Buffalo not take the points
Right,
in a
right,
very
always.
defensive game against this Houston defense. And we've seen that. That has been a problem for Sean McDermott for a long time. That's been my criticism of him. That's been my criticism of a lot of coaches in general. We were watching the game last night, and I was watching it with my dad, and he was just like, that's just how it is now. Like, that's coaching now. And it just drives me insane. And, watching these guys make these decisions, giving up the points again. Like you're playing the they're not playing the Cincinnati Bengals here. Like you're playing a team with a great defense. You take the points whenever you can get them, especially knowing where your team is at right now. Um, I when is this McDermott thing going to be over? I'm feeling like you have to make a change at some point. It's been now this is seven. Is this 7 years of McDermott? 8 years of McDermott?
Something like that.
Are we
And
going on that? I mean, they've been to countless AFC title games. They've been to countless playoffs. They have won the division countless times with Josh Allen, and it's just not working now. I think this was the year we expected them to have last year. Last year we went into the season saying this Bills team is not going to be that good, and then they were good, and they fooled us all. And now they come into this year where they were still that AFC title, hopeful AFC title favorite, and look at where they're at. I think they kind of reversed it. And maybe they just played, they used all that energy last year. And now they're out of gas. This feels like a team that is out of gas, that is, the rebuild needs to happen now. And they skipped the rebuild just like the Commanders. They skipped it because of what they did last year, the mini rebuild, I guess. Now it's time to go into the rebuild. You need to change the head coach. You need to change a lot of these. Come on, Davis Mills. This Texans offense is horrible. A good playoff team should not be giving up, 20 something points to this Texans offense. I mean, they barely beat the Tennessee Titans last week. They could, what was it? 13-10 was the final of last week's game. And we'll talk a
16-13.
little bit about that. What was
They
it?
came back. It was 16-13, but they came back and put up what 20 unanswered on the Jaguars. So, I mean, there's a spark there from Mills. I was at a game in Dallas a few years ago when he played, and they almost pulled off a big upset when the Texans were just
For the record, I have
terrible.
said this. I think Mills is better. I think I've said this. I like Mills. Even when they were bad, I liked Mills as their quarterback. He's
Yeah,
very calm. You want a calm guy at quarterback. I
right,
think
right.
that is why Daniel Jones has worked so far for the Colts is he's calm. That's the one thing he is. He's calm. Now, have we seen him? And Daniel Jones is a different conversation. But I don't. I mean, I'm looking at the odds right now. It's Colts, Broncos, and then Bills and Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC. Why are the Patriots so far below the? Why are they below the Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens right now? I just don't see that. I don't see. I don't see the Bills or the Chiefs. Actually, let me rephrase that. I don't see the Bills winning the AFC. I
I don't
still.
the AFC. I definitely don't see the Chiefs winning the AFC.
You don't see the Chiefs winning the AFC.
No,
I
no.
I see them as we doubted them, we keep doubting them, then they go on a run. Like they've been doubted so many times before and they've went on that run. I can't count them out.
Wouldn't count them out, but this is just they were exposed. They have flaws. They are not the same Chiefs. And it's really hard to make 4 straight Super Bowls. I know it's hard to make 3 and 5 out of 6 and all that, but someone's going to catch up, and I think this is the year.
Yeah, I do see this is the most opposition I feel like they've had because they've had game where it's the Bills and the Ravens. Like there was those, top other 2 echelon teams in the AFC. But now you look at the AFC and you have the Colts, the Broncos, the Patriots. I would say the Ravens are better than the Chiefs.
I don't know
I
about
mean,
that.
I think there's a lot more competition. Everything feels a lot more evened out now. It's not that there's those 2 or 3 upper echelon teams and then the rest that are fighting to hopefully have a chance to beat the Chiefs. Now you don't know who's going to win the AFC. Like I look at the Colts and they are put as the top team, but they have not shown me that they are a AFC title contender in my eyes. I just have not seen that. Struggling against the Falcons in Berlin is one of those things where an AFC and a Super Bowl contender does not struggle with the Falcons. I'm sorry, they just don't. That does not happen. But the Patriots struggled with the Falcons. The Colts struggled with the Falcons. Are the Broncos playing the Falcons? Did they play them?
No, they don't.
They did. They don't. Okay. Well, I mean, the Broncos have struggled with teams like the Falcons. I mean, there is no leader in the AFC. I don't see a team. I mean, do you see a leader in the AFC?
No, not like a clear cut favorite. I mean, I think Indy would prove a lot by beating the Chiefs this week. I don't think the Ravens have or will have the opportunity to prove anything because they've got the Jets and the Bengals coming up, even playing the Steelers. Like they just have not seen them stand up to the elite teams. I mean, I think Denver's really good. Like they've got good mojo, and I think New England does too. Um, May is playing awesome, and so he gives me more confidence with New England. But I think it's just the fact that the teams we expected to be at the top, Baltimore, Kansas City, Buffalo, just like it's not quite like baseball where a team can just get hot magically, where they can add players at the trade deadline that make a real impact. I mean, you kind of have what you have in football, and teams can get hot in by virtue of getting guys healthier sometimes, or maybe you make a coaching change. I mean, the Ravens fired Jim Caldwell they fired Cam Cameron, had Jim Caldwell take over as a coordinator late in the 12 season, and then they went on their run. I mean, it can happen, but I just don't see those top tier teams or the teams we thought that would be top tier teams really being there. So yeah, there is no clear cut favorite, which means that even a team like Houston or Jacksonville, I mean, yeah, a lot less likely for those teams. Chargers, maybe, but for teams like Denver, New England, Indianapolis that weren't expected to do all that much this year have a real shot, like a legit shot.
Drake May currently second in MVP odds at the moment. Matthew Stafford slightly ahead of him at plus 120. Jonathan Taylor at plus 700.
He should be, yeah, he really should. You can attest to him being really like the MVP of the league.
I mean, he is the best. He is the reason, I think. He is the reason, not I think. He is the reason the Colts are 8-2 right now. I mean,
Right.
you look, when you have 5 3-touchdown games, who are the Colts replacing? Like, is there anyone else on that? Like, where are you getting those touchdowns from if they're not coming from Jonathan Taylor? I don't see anywhere else. Like, you can't go out and get someone else. You're not going to see like fucking even Alec Pierce, who's probably like the number 2 guy right now offensively, or Tyler Warren. They're not putting that production up. There's no one else that can even come close to replacing Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
I mean, and Drake May and Matthew Stafford obviously are incredibly valuable to their teams, but Jonathan Taylor is solely the reason why. Even with Daniel Jones's turnovers, like you saw it in the Falcons game where Jones didn't look sharp. He made some good plays, made some good throws. That the throw in overtime to Tyler Warren was a great throw, but Jonathan Taylor was the reason they were in that game, that they went to overtime. So,
right.
It's a fucking quarterback award, and it's disgusting. It really is. It's disgusting.
It is a shame. Last running back to win it was Peterson, right, in 2012.
Yeah.
So
just short of the rushing record, and he had 14 touchdowns that year, total touchdowns that year. Jonathan Taylor has already surpassed that by a ton.
Well, he was a 2,000-yard rusher in a 16-game season, which it's a pretty small list. So
I'm gonna look at total touchdown.
That team had.
I'm not shitting on Peterson. You should have won it that year. I'm absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, Christian Ponder was the quarterback, so that may alone have sealed it. The fact that the Vikings got into the postseason with Christian Ponder at quarterback, and I think I actually saw the Vikings play a game that year up in Seattle, and I just remember Peterson was right around midseason when he was really starting to take off with the MVP award.
Yeah. Taylor currently has 17 touchdowns on the year. Peterson had 13 whole MVP season. So I don't know how you don't give it to Taylor.
Right.
It's insane.
That team started Joe Webb. They were down to their third string quarterback, I think, that year by the playoffs. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back to week 11. Let's talk the other Thursday night game, Jets Patriots. That feels like forever ago. I mean, the Jets are bad, the Patriots are good. There's not really much to say there, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think New England, again, they're figuring out ways not just to keep winning, but to win the games that they're expected to win. I think there's going to be a trap in there somewhere soon. But, I mean, it was like division games are hard, even if it's the Jets, even if it's bad teams. Think about all those years that Tom Brady would struggle down in Miami with mediocre Dolphins teams, and even occasionally lost a game to the Bills or the Jets. But I don't know. Jets are going back to Tyrod Taylor. Like, they ran for 140 yards and they still stink. But New England just keeps finding a way, and Stephon Diggs putting up numbers. I think you got to be happy about that, given that he's kind of been a cancer to a lot of the teams he's been on. But they're doing just fine.
Look to Diggs this weekend. New dad bump.
Oh,
he's a new dad with Cardi B
too. Yeah.
So but if you have 4, I think he's got like 3 other on the way or something. I don't know if the new dad bump
on the way.
I'm pretty.
Yeah, they're already existing.
Let's look up kids. Stephon Diggs kids. Reportedly has 4 kids on the way.
Yeah,
with 4 different women. That was 17 days ago.
Wow. Well, Antonio Cromartie still has a record. He's had like 13 with 11 different women or something. And Travis Henry, running back, he was up there. Phillip Rivers, all with 1 woman, but he's got 9. So
yeah, but I don't think they had 4 on the way at the same time. Can you have a new dad bump 4 times in the same season?
We'll see. If they keep winning games, when it happens, they'll just keep having kids.
Well, the Bengals are the perfect team to have that happen against. They will definitely give up some points. All right, Dolphins, Commanders, Madrid. Mike, we did it. We survived the international series. We're done. We don't have to do the 9:30 games. I know the NFL is looking at, apparently there might bring back some sort of hypersonic jet that goes overseas. The NFL is monitoring that situation very closely. So get ready for 5 teams overseas.
5 teams overseas.
Yeah, they're going to put 5 different teams overseas. Roger Goodell, and he's going to put the next 10 Super Bowls across Europe.
The only takeaway I have from this game, it just was I think I turned the TV off for a little bit. Was Mike McDaniel went for it with a chance to kick the go-ahead field goal. Now it wasn't, I Tony Dungy did this in a game in 2007 against the Chiefs. It was 10-10 late in the fourth. They had like a 4th and inches deep, and Dungy went for it. He got it, but he did that because had they got the first down, they had the chance to run out the clock, kick the field goal, which they did. I don't know why that game comes to mind, but also they were playing Brody Croyle and the Chiefs. But Mike McDaniel went for it on 4th down, on 4th and goal, when they just needed a field goal and needed to trust the defense. I am so appalled. Dan Campbell went for it 5 times. It is disgusting. These analytics nerds that haven't even played flag football, let alone professional football, making these decisions. McDaniel's so lucky Matt Gay missed that field goal and that Mariota threw the interception in overtime. He should still be fired. I think the Dolphins are just a garbage team and franchise that refuses to blow it up. I hate that they won the game because I wanted McDaniel to really get vilified for that decision.
I see that, and I agree normally. I also look at these really bad teams, and especially you can point to a team like the Titans. I say, fuck it, you're so bad. Just go for it on every 4th down. It doesn't matter. Just get the offensive reps in. At least try and have some fun, because it doesn't matter if you win. Just go for it on every 4th down.
It just empowers these other coaches to do it. It just starts this trend that then carries over into more meaningful games. Coaches that end up chasing points, whether it's on 4th downs or 2-point conversions, like Sean McDermott in the AFC Championship game, right? That those points came back to haunt him. And they just keep doing it. And you think, okay, there's going to be this one time this coach is going to kick the field goal, and they just don't do it. I mean, Jim Harbaugh is a little more conservative. He's a little better with it, but John Harbaugh is terrible. He's egregious. He's one of the biggest defenders. So, yeah, I mean, whatever. Somebody had to get to 4 wins. It's Miami. Good for them. I got nothing else to say on this game.
I do have something to say on the Dolphins side of things. They're currently 4-7. They have the Saints.
No, stop it.
The Jets.
Stop. Yeah, it's not.
The Steelers, the Bengals, the Bucks, and the Patriots.
There's no chance that even with that schedule that they finish with a winning record. I don't care.
10-7 is 10-7.
They'd have to go 5-1 just to get over 500. So no, absolutely. No. Absolutely. They'll even if they get close, McDaniel will do something stupid. So
the wins they have on their belt right now, they have a Bills win.
Yeah,
they have a win over the
they beat the Jets. I mean, they beat Atlanta, both garbage teams. Got blown out by the Browns.
They have a win over the Bills, though. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but that just speaks more to the Bills not being championship caliber, like I said, and I just, you have these teams that just occasionally do that. Yeah. I mean, it just, I'm not buying into it with them.
All right. No Brian Flores magic.
Oh no.
All right. Steelers, Bengals, Ja'Marr Chase did not. I don't know how you're Ja'Marr Chase and you go and you say I didn't spit on him. I mean, he was the most guilty person of all time on the video. I mean, it's the spit didn't just come out of his mouth; it was pouring out of his mouth in the slow mo. I heard the idea of because apparently people just love spitting on each other now. If you play football, like that is just we've had I think it was Jalen Carter. Week 1, like the opening game, or it was at the Brazil game. I can't remember. Didn't even play a snap, and he was ejected for spitting. I heard the idea that every team should have a designated spitter. Just say one guy at the beginning of the game, he can spit on anyone, and the other guy, they can just start spitting on each other. Maybe that'll help curb these guys a little bit. But 34-12 Steelers. I mean, the Bengals are just not good, and the Steelers are not good, but they're a little more competent because it's Mike Tomlin.
But the Bengals had beaten the Steelers earlier. You're right. We've already established exactly what the Steelers are. Do bare minimum to win 9 or 10 games and waste a playoff spot. Aaron Rodgers getting hurt. Maybe Mason Rudolph kind of goes with the Davis Mills thing. I mean, he put up a solid game there in relief.
Two very long touchdown drives in the second half that really helped them put that game away, because it was in doubt for a second. There was a thought.
It wasn't as lopsided as the score indicated. It
Yeah.
got away late from Cincinnati. The numbers were not crazily misaligned. So we'll see if Burrow comes back at least in some capacity on Sunday. I mean, obviously the Bengals aren't going anywhere, but Pittsburgh, just more of the same for them. I mean, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. You know, just enough. That's it.
Chargers, Jaguars. I never want to hear, like, I say this every episode. Stop with the Chargers. They're never going to be good. If we could play another 100 seasons in the NFL, and I will not believe in them. I don't care how good you have. You can bring back Cyborg, fucking Tom Brady, and bring back every single one of the Patriots undefeated team or undefeated season with Cyborg attachments to like make them young again. But they're wearing Chargers uniforms. They still wouldn't win anything. I don't care. The Jaguars, they're the Jags. Like, I'm not.
It was a
I'm
good
never
bounce
going to
back.
believe in them either.
Right, but they blew that big lead, right, to Houston. Was that their previous game? Yeah. No. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So for them to just come back after a real gut punch, I know you're not a big believer in the Jags. I'm not by any means saying that they're going to make the Super Bowl, but they're obviously a much improved team under Liam Cohen. And Justin Herbert, 81 yards passing. Chargers net 93 yards passing. Herbert was the leading rusher, 3 for 21. The Jags ran it 47 times. I mean, I don't know how hot it was. I don't think it was that hot, right? Because Florida had the cold snap. So you can't say, oh, they went down and they wilted in the heat. It was 30-8 in first downs. Jacksonville had the ball for 38 minutes. I mean, it was just, yeah. The Chargers said, we're not even going to waste time charging this week. We're just going to get out of this game early. We'll check out and maybe save some energy for this week. But so, yeah, I'm not buying into them at all, which is crazy because they're in second place while the Chiefs are in third. Means nothing. Jacksonville, though, I think they will finish over 500. I don't know what that'll be.
They'll finish over 500. They can do that.
Yeah.
They can win the division. They're not going to do anything with it.
No, well, I don't. Maybe not. Probably not. But I like the job Liam Cohen's doing down there. I do.
We just we just talked about the Bills, but Bills Bucks 44-32. This game was another one of those where the score doesn't really dictate what the game was like. This was a Josh Allen game. That was a Josh Allen game. Yeah. He's doing weird shit. He had the shovel pat or like the two-handed shovel pass that got picked off, and then he finds a way to win. And the Bucks are just really hurt. Like they've never won in Buffalo, by the way. That was their fourth game ever in Buffalo. They are 0-4 in Buffalo. But the Bucks, they just really need to get healthy. This is not a full iteration of this team, and I really don't take much from this game. The fact that they were even in this in Buffalo and the way they played, I think it was a moral win for the Bucks. I don't think you leave Buffalo depressed by losing this game.
Buffalo has the third worst rush defense in the NFL, and the Bucks were able to expose that, which is what they need to do. Now, the Bills have the best rushing offense. A big part of that is Allen. But conversely, you can't have a porous run defense and expect to win in January or, dare I say, February.
Yeah, the defense has problems. They do have a lot of issues.
I mean, the Bucks controlled the ground game big time in this game, 39 for 202, which is what they have to do with all the Bucks receiver injuries. Mayfield's doing what he can, but you're right. The Bucks are just kind of a walking wounded. It's a shame. I think they have a good team. I mean, they could if they're fully healthy. That offense just makes everything go. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, we're talking about the Bills have played a game since, so it's hard to look at this game and be like, oh, well, no, they're back. They were 7-3, 5-1 at home, but this is the Bills, Jekyll and Hyde, and I think Tampa just didn't have enough gas in the tank.
Yeah. Bears Vikings. These are the cardiac kids of Chicago. This is a young team on the up and up, and that's all you can take away. They're finding ways to win, which is something the Chicago Bears have not done in a long, long, long time. Is finding ways to win these games that, maybe it feels like they're out or they collapse. Like they blew a solid lead to this Vikings team, and then they found a way to win anyways. That is, I think, the kind of the shift that Ben Johnson brings. And you're seeing Caleb Williams be more confident. You're seeing him, feel more comfortable at times where he was a little more uncomfortable last year. So I think this was a win. The Vikings, you get a good quarter out of JJ McCarthy. He loves playing a good fourth quarter.
Yeah, against the Bears anyway.
Yeah. He loves a good fourth quarter when he's playing the Bears. But, this is a Vikings team that still has a young quarterback. So, you want to give him some time. But Justin Jefferson's getting a little frustrated. He's clearly getting frustrated. And you have to try and quell that before he requests a trade at some point.
If the Bears win the division, hands down, Ben Johnson, Coach of the Year. Even if they make the playoffs. I mean, I know Vrabel, Peyton, Steichen, a lot of good candidates this year. Hell, I even think Kyle Shanahan deserves a few votes. But this is just awesome what the Bears are doing. They give me a little bit of 2001 Bears vibes. Too young to remember, but that was the team that won 13 games with Jim Miller and Shane Matthews as quarterback. They had 2 back-to-back weeks where Mike Brown had a pick 6 in overtime to win. They had some wild games. Obviously this team has a number 1 pick at quarterback playing. So there's what feels like there's room to continue growing. They're getting the most out of what they have, and they're not the most talented team by a long shot, but they're finding ways to win. It's just such a beautiful thing when these young teams figure out ways to win. Because if the Bears were kind of going out looking sexy with a lot of like easy wins or really bad teams, I mean, they're not beating great teams, but we'd be like
a division win on the road is, I think that's astonishing.
Yeah,
for them.
And in the division that they're in, they haven't played Green Bay yet, and they lost pretty handily to Detroit, I think. But they're just winning games. They're winning games. They're going to come back to earth a little bit, at least, I think. But I like what I'm seeing. I like that they are figuring out a way to make plays when it matters, and then they return the favor on the Vikings for that Week 1 game.
They have one of the toughest. I think they have number 3 toughest schedule or 2 left in the NFL. They have the Steelers this weekend. Aaron Rodgers coming back to Chicago. I think he's going to try and play.
Good. They have a better shot against him than they do Mason Rudolph. I'll say that.
Bears fans would disagree. They are afraid of Aaron Rodgers, but I think that's
He's wearing a different uniform. Yeah.
Bears Eagles on Prime Video, 3:00 Black Friday. Packers Browns. Hopefully that's a layup. Packers 49ers Lions to end it. If they just go 4-3 down this stretch, they're going to be feeling pretty good.
It's tough because if you look at all their wins, they don't have a win over a team with a winning record. So I hate to kind of burst the bubble in that sense. Look, going 7-1, I don't care if you have an easy schedule. It's still hard to do. And, look, they blew out Dallas. So not a terrible team. They won at Cincy. It's not easy to do. But, yeah, for the most part, this is where we'll really find out about the Bears. And it's going to be tough, but who knows? They
just
can
win the 7-game series. Win it in 7.
Yeah, exactly. And if nothing else, they've given themselves a chance by winning the games that they have supposed to be. You're supposed to win.
That's a good team. I think that's the definition of a good team. You win the games you're supposed to win.
Right. Started out 0-2. Vikings lost, blown out by the Lions by 31. Lost to the Lamar Jackson-less Ravens. But again, 7-1 in 8 games.
Yeah. Pretty good. Texans, Titans. We already talked about the Texans. Titans, again, I love what Cam Ward said. He just said we should go for it on every 4th down. Like, it doesn't matter at this point. Get him the offensive reps. I like that. Put him in, those more precarious situations, higher pressure, because your season's over. It really doesn't matter. You have an interim head coach anyways. No one's going to blame the interim head coach. And the Texans, again, they found another way to win just like they did last night.
Yeah, I don't. Well, we've kind of already covered the Texans. I just think for the Titans, they are an absolute dumpster fire. I think Amy Adams Strunk should be ashamed that she fired Mike Vrabel. Good for Vrabel. It worked out for him. This Titans team should be 0-10 if that guy can't DeMercado or whatever for the Cardinals doesn't drop the ball on the goal line. They're 0-10 with a legit chance to reverse run the table, and their schedule. Well, when you stink, your schedule's hard no matter what. But they've got Seattle, Jacksonville, Cleveland, 49ers, Chiefs, Saints, Jaguars to end the year. So there might be a win in there, maybe the Browns or the Saints, but this team is going to end up with, I think, either 15 or 16 losses.
Yeah,
they're that bad.
Yeah. Panthers, Falcons. Panthers. Bryce Young. Just again, he I think he has, like, in the span of his career, his wins, like, I think the high majority of them are late game drives, high pressure. Like, this Panthers team, again, they're not beautiful, they're not even pretty. I wouldn't even call them anything like the wins, but they're finding ways to win here. And the Falcons are just sad. Just wrap it up. Michael Penix is done for the year now. Just move on to next year.
Yeah. I think obviously, this Falcons, this is a city that just knows how to choke. And I like to compare back to times when, I enjoyed football more. 2000 Vinny Testaverde only woke up in the fourth quarter. He had so many bad games, but when he was good, he would just lead them to big comebacks. Monday Night Miracle at the Meadowlands. I like what the Panthers are doing. They're kind of like the Bears, where they're not that good, but they're still winning games. So, and again, number one pick quarterback, right, who's been kind of doubted. Similarities between Caleb Williams and Bryce Young, but yeah, I mean, good for Carolina. Dave Canales doing a good job there.
Franchise record 448 passing yards.
Yeah,
in the single game. And the Falcons, are they one of the most talented 3-7 teams we've seen? Like, you look at their at least on the offensive side of the football and on the defensive side of the football, they have playmakers everywhere, and they just can't find a way to win. It's just the Falcons, and it's poor coaching. I mean, the play calling just it feels like they're wasting talent with the play calling. They don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know. They're talented at blowing leads. That's what they're talented at.
They are. Packers, Giants. Packers 27, Giants 20. I guess what? Are the Packers good? They're not good, right?
Decent. I don't know. You never know. They always seem to play their best ball in December. Maybe it's the whole Lambeau cold weather, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Packers, they don't sizzle. I don't know. Malik Willis threw a touchdown pass, which is good, and the Giants were smart and started Jameis, but he was okay. I don't know. I don't have a lot on this game.
He had some Jameis plays. He made it fun to watch.
He did, yeah.
Probably the best game of the late slate. Rams 21, Seahawks 19. Sam Darnold throws 4 interceptions and still somehow almost brings them back to win it on a long game-winning field goal. I think this is more of I took away that Seattle is for real here, and you just clean up those mistakes, and they probably find a way to win this pretty easily without the interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job on Stafford, but they just, Darnold, the turnovers. He's going to have a game like that, and they still put themselves in a position to have a chance. They ran the ball better, but I don't know. The Rams they're just that find a way, and they're good.
Stafford, I think the even more impressive thing is that Stafford was sizzling coming into this. He had 3 straight games with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions in each one of those games. And they held him to 2 touchdowns, 130 yards, 15 of 28, and 89.9 passer rating. Like that, before that, he felt unstoppable. Like if he continued on that stretch, he was maybe one of the greatest MVPs we could have ever seen if he continued that stretch. And they shut him down. Like, they stopped him cold. So whatever Mike Macdonald has got going on, he's he could be coach of the year. Shit. I mean, look at there's so many coach of the year candidates out there, and he should be right up at the front, I think.
Yeah, I forgot to mention him before. I mean, there's so like
Yeah.
because there were so many candidates, and but I think he's deserving. Richard Sherman, not surprisingly, said that there's the best team in the NFC. I don't know about that.
I
But
don't know if they're the best after this one. That was the game to win best team in the NFC through week 11. Whoever
yeah,
won that game, I think would get that title.
yeah.
49ers, Cardinals. Brock Purdy is back. 3 touchdowns. Look good. Nice little beat up game. Jacoby Brissett should retire with the Cardinals. I don't ever want to see him in another uniform because he at least makes he just seems to make the Cardinals look fun-ish to watch. Better than Kyler. I never want to see Kyler Murray again in a Cardinals uniform.
That's fair. Very fair.
Jacoby, oh, yeah, I completely forgot. He set the NFL record for completions in a single game. 47 of 57 for 452.
And yet, they lose by
22 points.
41-22. Yeah, wow. That is, holy cow. Yeah, good for him. Good for him. That's cool.
And the Niners, again, Kyle Shanahan, possible coach of the year as well.
He's also, with all the injuries they've had, Purdy comes back, has a great game. They're always, it's never a layup facing the 49ers.
No. Ravens, Browns. Ravens pick up another big win. Maybe not a good team, but, Lamar didn't look his best and you guys found a way to win. I think that was something you were looking for, in past. When he was gone, you weren't finding ways to win. But the Ravens, they rightfully so should be the favorites to win the AFC North right now. I'll say that. And Shedeur, no good.
Not good. The Ravens stifled the passing game. They just didn't do much with their own passing game. Lamar had the 2 picks. They just, it was more just the Browns being the Browns. It just hasn't been that moment where the Ravens have either beaten a really good team or have just stepped up and really pounded it. I know they beat the Dolphins handily and the Browns in week 2, but it's just never felt like this team has really proven it. And we'll see. I don't know what to make of Shedeur Sanders. It's easy to flip out over one game where he comes in. He gets a chance to start this week against a bad team, but Browns are the Browns and the Ravens are getting by right now, and they got an easy schedule. So that's the good news there. Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. It gets tough at the end, Pats, Packers, Steelers, but still these next few weeks, even if they lose to the Steelers, they should probably, the Bengals are tough, but be 8-6 after 14 games. It's better than expected when they started 1-5.
Yeah. They're, in my eyes, they're the favorites to win the division right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Steelers are just not it. Broncos, Chiefs, Broncos. Big one there. That's a game they lose normally. I think they lost a game just like that almost a year ago. What was it? The Black Friday game? Did they play the Black Friday game?
Yeah, the fumbled snap or whatever when it was.
Yeah, and they had a chance to win it, on a field goal, and they did not make it. Now it's almost Thanksgiving week, and they found a way to win this time. So that's maybe the Chiefs' juju is out. Maybe the Broncos are a better team. They haven't looked pretty in a lot of the games they've won, but they won. So, and we already kind of talked about the Chiefs, so not much to say there.
Yeah, they're losing all the games that they won last year, rightfully so. And they're doing kind of what the Chiefs did last year, winning a lot of tight games. It's just this Chiefs offense doesn't scare anybody. That's all it is. They don't run the ball. The line is not great. The defense is not scary the way they were in 23 and even last year. They're maybe a slightly above average team with a great quarterback, not a really good team with a great quarterback.
Yeah. Lions, Eagles, Sunday night game. Dan Campbell, obsessed with going for it. We already knew that. And this Eagles defense is crazy. They stifled it. The Lions couldn't do anything, it felt like. And the Eagles offense is questionable. That's why we don't really see any sort of real big stepper in in the NFC or the AFC, because the Eagles should be that team. They do look like the best team, and they haven't really shown anyone that they are the best team.
Yeah, I mean, I think their defense is. They could argue they probably have the best defense, at least in the NFC.
The Jalen
They,
Phillips ad was massive.
yeah, yeah. But again, the 0 for 5 on fourth downs, I just can't get by. I can't get past that. I just can't. It's embarrassing. It just seems like it's more about ego. It really almost has nothing to do with the game. It's like a prove it thing, or it's always like, well, I've done it this way up to this point, so I can't change it. And all the fourth down failures were after the first quarter, right? One was 4th-and-1 at the 48. Now they got lucky. The defense played great for Detroit. He really played great. I mean, we could talk about Philly's offense. The fake punt that led to an Eagles field goal. They got another 3-and-out after the down. Actually, they got 2 punts after the downs, but then another one led to a field goal. So that's 6 points right there by going for it. What they went for it. Let's see, at the 45-yard line. So in those instances, you're giving them a short field on a night where they're not doing much. I mean, that's just like have some common sense there, right? And just kind of sense what's going on. And then, funny enough, the Eagles go for it late in the game and get stuffed on a QB sneak. And then the Lions get a late field goal after they lose 7 yards. I mean, it was just an ugly game. And this was like almost the NFC Championship game last year. These were the top 2 seeds, and it would have been in Detroit. We might have seen a completely different style of game. And we get this gross 16-9 windy game where both offenses stink and both coaches are just going for it. And I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I just know that if you told anyone that Philly's offense was going to be very mediocre and they'd still be 8-2, best record in the NFC or tied, the Eagles fans would have to take it. Because I feel like offense is easier to fix, right? You can get in more of a rhythm. You change the play calling. I don't know. Guys get healthier, whatever, coaching change, but it's harder to fix your defense. If you go through a season and you've got a lot of defensive problems, it's a lot harder to fix that. So I think if nothing else, with the skill players that the Eagles have, I think there's still a chance they figure it out and look closer to that team from 24.
And then Cowboys Raiders is
Disgusting.
So the one thing that I've always questioned is, like, how did we not have, in these teams' entire history, I mean, these are some of the, most storied franchises in the NFL. They don't have like a single meaningful game, like truly meaningful game, dating back to, when they were created, when these teams, first came onto the scene. And it's just crazy to me that we haven't really seen a meaningful game from them.
Yeah, no Super Bowls. They kind of just missed each other during the 70s.
Because they were both very, very good. That stretch, like, it was Cowboys and Raiders. Yeah, the Steelers in there. Like, that was the time for them, and they somehow did not see each other, even like late in the season with a number 1 seed on the line, or they had some crazy, we haven't had that. That's what I took away from this game.
Yeah, it seems a shame. I mean, it seems also a shame that like the Patriots and 49ers never matched up, or the Patriots and Cowboys, when, because Cowboys have had a lot of good regular season teams. But yeah, it's weird because in the 70s, Dallas, let's see, the Raiders won their first Super Bowl in the 76 season. Dallas made it the next 2 years after that. So yeah, for whatever reason, they just kind of missed each other. And then Dallas was great in the 90s, and then the Raiders went back in 2002. But I don't know. And as far as this game itself, this was a game the Cowboys had to win because they've got the Eagles and the Chiefs coming up at home, right? Like, if they're going to have any chance to push for a playoff spot, they had to have this game. The Raiders don't have to have anything, right, except maybe more losses so they can get the first pick. It's ugly. I don't know if I feel bad for Pete Carroll. He brought it on himself coming back, but there's a safety late in the game. I mean, it was just, I don't know. I don't know.
A Pete Carroll team is really struggling when he chews more gum. The more gum he's got in his mouth, the more chewing he's like it. When he's smacking it like a horse, like he's just like he is pissed off. That team is not doing well. So clearly they're not doing well because he's gonna have to see the dentist at the end of the year.
Yeah, Dallas slow start in this game, but from the second quarter on, right
This
away.
is the team Jerry Jones is going in on. Like, are we for real right now? This Cowboy, like, they make the trade for Quinnen Williams at the deadline, and he's like, "This is it. Yep, this is the team where we think we're gonna do something with." Like, come on, you can talk to me about the offense all you want. The defense is Swiss cheese.
Right. Right.
All right, let's go to week 12. We're gonna make our picks and get out of here. We already, this is being filmed after the Bills Texans game, but let's start with the Colts Chiefs. Booger McFarland said the Chiefs season will be and the dynasty will be over if they lose this game to the Colts. I don't believe that. I don't, but I could see. I can agree with the season being over, but the dynasty. Tom Brady. They miss the playoffs the year after they won the Super Bowl. They went 9-7.
They did.
His second year. So,
but we weren't talking dynasty after the first one. But yeah, I get you.
But
point.
they've Tom Brady's had a bad year before. We've seen it, and then he went on to win 2 more Super Bowls after that. 9-7, bad year. Okay. Kansas City 3.5-point home favorites right now. Where are you thinking here? What are you thinking? I'm nervous, but the Colts have a lot of regular season success against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
They do, but the last 2 times they beat the Chiefs, they went on to win the Super Bowl. So I wouldn't be the worst thing if the Colts lose. I actually think the Chiefs will bounce back. This is just the we're still kind of here game, but we're not actually that good. And maybe this is a spot for the Colts to kind of the way that Pittsburgh game went. I feel like it's the same vibe, So I'll actually go with the Chiefs, and I hope.
Yeah, I don't think the Colts are. I don't think they're big enough for the moment. I think the moment's going to be way too big for them. I've seen this before, so I'm going to the Chiefs here. I'm going Chiefs. I would take them -3.5. I could see this being like a 10-point game.
Yeah,
especially in Kansas City, in the cold. It's not going to be comfortable for us. We're a dome team. Always hated that. Steelers Bears in Chicago. Aaron Rodgers makes his long-awaited return to Soldier Field. His home that he calls it. Yeah. Chicago 2.5-point home favorites right now.
I like Chicago. I actually do. I just think, I don't know, Rodgers banged up. Probably better for the Bears if he plays. I think they're due to beat him. But even Rudolph, yeah, I don't know. I think the Bears will keep this rolling until they run into some bigger teams.
Yeah. Jeff Saturday said Aaron Rodgers is playing versus the Bears. So good news, I guess, for Bears fans. You hopefully get revenge. I'm going to take Chicago here too.
Jeff Saturday's reporting.
Jeff Saturday is reporting. He said it on First Take or whatever. And I love the Drake May. Didn't even know that Cam Newton. I don't know if you saw this, because they were talking about Cam Newton on Drake May on First Take, and they asked May about it, and he said, "I didn't even know Cam Newton was on First Take." Yeah. Basically, and Stephen A. Smith and Cam Newton were pissed off about that. They did not like that. They said, we're like the number one. We're the number one sports show on TV right now. He said that on national TV. I would say First Take is the number one sports show that your gym puts on. Like, they put it on with no sound and they just put it on one of the TVs at the gym or in a restaurant. Like if you go to a restaurant in the middle of the day when there's no actual sports on, it's First Take. Because they just want something going on, but they don't want to hear any of those takes. I mean, I'm not going to say we have the best takes, but good Lord, don't come and tell me about First Take. Patriots Bengals, New England -6.5 in Cincinnati. Wasn't there there was a big Brady Bengals game in the past, right?
Well, that was the we're on to Cincinnati game was 2014, but they beat the Bengals on that started that run that season where they won their first Super Bowl in a decade. Last year, the Patriots went into Cincinnati and upset the Bengals in week 1, and that kind of set the tone for the Bengals season. This is my upset of the week. I'm taking the Bengals to win. I actually think this is just a trap spot for New England. I can't see them being 10-2, and the Bengals. I mean, because we don't know if Burrow's going to get into this game or not. But sometimes when your best player's out, every other guy rallies around each other. And I actually think Jamar Chase being out and not taking all that attention could actually open things up for the Bengals. I don't know why this just screams upset to me.
I think if Joe Flacco plays, I would agree with you. If Joe Flacco is in the game, I would tend to agree with you. But if Joe Burrow comes back, I see a resounding Patriots win.
Okay.
Joe
What?
Flacco, it's the Joe Flacco game. It's Joe Flacco against
Yeah,
Patriots
Patriots, yeah.
and Mike Vrabel. There's something about Joe Flacco, as old as he is, he does know. Like he knows, he has the energy. He can claim that energy and say like, I used to beat these guys before. I'm not worried now.
Mike Vrabel went to school down the road, Ohio State. I mean, not down the road, but he's an Ohio guy. So we'll see what happens. But I like the Bengals.
I need more. I need more information. I need more information to see. Come on, ESPN.
Well, it
All
could
right.
be when he gets into the game, they see kind of how it's going. And if Flacco's playing well, then ride with him. I don't know. Or Burrow comes in and he has.
Jets Ravens. Baltimore 13.5 point favorites.
Yeah, against Tyrod Taylor. I don't know. I probably would still take the Ravens points just because it's the Jets. I mean, it was like not if it was any other team. I mean, yeah, but even like the Saints, I feel I'd be like, they're gonna let down a little bit. It's the Jets. I don't know. If I were betting that game, I would like tease the Jets and throw them in there with somebody like with the Bengals or something. But as far as just, I don't know. Flip a coin on the spread. Ravens are gonna win.
I think I know Tyrod Taylor played well in his limited time he's been in. I think that is like the saddest benching, going from Justin Fields to Tyrod Taylor. There is absolutely no juice there. I would be really tempted to take Baltimore minus 13.5 here.
I would lean that way if I had to pick one side. That's where I'd go.
Yeah. Going Baltimore to win, if anyone can't tell. Seahawks, Titans, Seattle, also 13.5 point favorites in Tennessee.
I feel like it's either going to be a huge blowout or a really close game. I don't know why.
Blowout.
Like Seattle should bounce back. They're great on the road. Tennessee's horrible. I'll take Seattle even with the points, but like can also see this being a game that weirdly just comes down to like a late touchdown or something. But I'm going to still take Seattle.
I'm going Seattle blowout.
Yeah, they're good on the road. They've only lost 2 road games under Mike McDonald, so.
And I'm sure they're frustrated after how last weekend
ended. Yeah, Darnold wants to. Yeah.
Vikings, Packers. Green Bay is 6-point favorites at home. I would almost like the Vikings here. They're very intriguing.
Yeah. It's weird though. Green Bay's lost their last 2 home games, so that kind of scares me a little bit. I was leaning Minnesota, and now I'm going Green Bay. I think they need to put together a big win at home in front of the home crowd. I actually am going to take Green Bay after sort of deliberating on this for a bit.
I'm going to take Minnesota. I'm liking them here. They need a win. I don't know if this is a 4-7 Vikings team. I could see them being 5-6. Kevin O'Connell also just too good of a coach, I think, to drop that far.
But is J.J. McCarthy a good enough quarterback to really say, yeah, they could be 5-6? I don't know.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go with yes.
It's fair.
Giants, Lions, Detroit. Jesus, a lot of big spreads. Holy shit. Detroit, 12.5-point home favorites. Give me all the points on Detroit.
Yeah.
The last time the Lions have lost 2 consecutive games was the year they started 1-8 and then won 7 straight or 8 straight. When they beat Green Bay on the final game of the year to knock Rodgers out of the playoffs.
They were 1-7 and finished 9-8. Yeah, they only lost 1 game. Yeah. I'm going to take the Lions a bit begrudgingly, but I'll take them with the points.
Did they beat Green Bay that final game, right?
They did. Rodgers' final game as a Packer.
Yeah. I'm going to go Lions. Dan Campbell is going to have the boys ready to just run. They're going to roll over the Giants. Even though it is Jameis, I think it's Jameis, and that makes me really sad to say that Jameis is going to get killed.
In the game, yeah.
Jacksonville, Arizona. Jacksonville, 3-point road favorites. This is a Jacoby Brissett game.
Is it? Yeah.
It's a Jacoby Brissett game. This is a game the Jaguars lose. Don't cut. This is every time you think you're sold on the Jaguars, they let you down. And this is that game. Arizona has to win one. They're not 3-8. That is not a 3-8 football team.
I mean, they lost to the Titans, so they are bad.
That was with Kyler. The Jacoby Brissett Cardinals are not 3-8. I'm sorry, they're not. I'm going with the Cardinals here.
Just because I want to get on the Jaguars bandwagon just to irk you a little bit. I'm going to take.
I don't even think about the Jaguars. I just don't. That doesn't even irk me when you say that. I'm just like, what? Like they exist. They are a team that exists. Browns Raiders. Holy shit! What a bad game. A battle of 2-8 here. Vegas 4-point home favorites.
You said the other game is a Jacoby Brissett game. I'm saying this is a Pete Carroll game. This is we have to have some
a win somewhere here.
And it's Shador's first start, and he's already hyping up how good he's going to be. So give me the Raiders.
Yeah, I like that. Give me the Raiders by a ton. Falcons, Saints, New Orleans, 2.5-point favorites in New Orleans. This is one of those big NFC South rivalry games. Like these guys and the Panthers all hate each other. They can't stand Tampa. I don't think Tampa gets as much into that hatred. Like these teams despise each other no matter what their records are.
Yeah, I can't see the Falcons and Saints having the same record. I know the Falcons are bad. I like Atlanta in this spot.
Me too. I like them a lot here.
Yeah.
Eagles, Cowboys. For some reason, the Eagles Cowboys game was flexed to the 425 spot. I can understand because it's Fox, but I feel like Colts Chiefs is the one you want to flex there.
Tempted to say this screams upset because it was close the first time. Philly's been kind of, could easily see them losing. It's just hard for me to pick against them with Dallas, but this is a dicey one, and it's 3.5. I mean, I would take the Eagles just because they're generally more trustworthy, obviously more trustworthy. But this is tricky. I mean, the Eagles did lose to the Giants on the road, and coming off that big emotional win over Detroit, 2 primetime games. I'll just say this: I very hesitantly take the Eagles in this game.
Dallas has just been another one of those teams where it's kind of like Jacksonville, where you think maybe they're going to figure it out, and then they let you down. And they have a tough stretch coming up too. They got to see the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Lions 3 straight weeks.
But I could see them winning just so that the talk shows can say, does this Cowboys team have a run in it? But really, they don't. You know what I mean? Just so that it's kind of interesting.
I think they beat Kansas City and they say that. They don't beat Philly and they say that.
They could easily win one of those games. I just don't know it.
I think it's Kansas City. I'm going Philly here. I would maybe say take Dallas plus 3.5. That's not a bad line there.
Yeah. That feels like a good teaser game too.
Bucks, Rams 7-point home favorites. That's a big line. I'm gonna take the Bucks there.
Yeah, I think so. I do, because at some point the Rams there has to be a loss or a scare, but maybe that was last week. I'll take the Bucks also with the points. Baker against the Rams. Remember he played there for a minute, but
that's where he revived his career.
Yeah. I just worry about the Bucks' ability to just keep up if Stafford has a big game. But I'll take him again. I'm very sort of torn on that, but I'll take him.
I think this is one of those Baker games where he can take over and keep them in this game, even though they're not the most talented right now. I'll take the Rams to win, but Bucks plus 7. And finally, 49ers, Panthers, the Christian McCaffrey Bowl in San Francisco. Was this like the 2015 NFC title game?
It was the 2013 divisional game. It was Cam Newton's first playoff start. It was a low-scoring 49er win. I think it was 23-10. Let me see if I'm right. Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, I nailed it. No, I'm sorry. Yes, it was. It was 10-9 in the regular season. The Panthers won, and the Niners won 23-10. I think this is the spot for Carolina to let down. I think this is a Niners. I would go Niners here.
Yeah, this is a Kyle Shanahan. Big Kyle Shanahan win here.
Yeah.
Young quarterback, iffy team in the Panthers that I think he's going to make them he's going to tell the world, hey, they're not real. Like, this is not a real contender. But I think it'll be competitive. I could definitely see this one being a tighter one, maybe like a 10-point game, but 49ers kick a field goal to make it a 10-point game late. All right, that's going to wrap it up with the games. We do have to, I feel like we have to talk about Bill Belichick being at the adult cheerleading event for Jordan, not Jordan. Jordan, she's 24 in adult cheerleading. It's not on the sidelines of an adult football game, because you see, I don't know if you've seen the videos of like the 40U football games. They're awesome. These guys are, they got to go to work the next day and they're just tearing their ACLs on the field. It's awesome. But no, there is, you can do rec cheerleading. Jordan is doing rec cheerleading. So
Interesting.
Listen, I love rec sports, but cheerleading I think might cross a line for me. I don't know. And she could just go be a cheerleader for North Carolina. Like, why doesn't she just tell Bill, hey, I want to be a coach for North Carolina cheer, or I want to be on the sidelines and do something. Like, she does whatever she wants. Bill just does whatever she tells him to do. It was weird. It was weird. And Bill being at that, like, he's got a game this week. He has a game to prepare for this week.
Right.
And he's just, it's sad. It's really sad. Who would have thought 5 years ago?
Yeah. Oh, well.
Like, think back to the Mac Jones year. Think back to Mac Jones, like, being good. The Patriots were in it. They had just beat the Bills in Buffalo. Like, Bill Belichick it was like, okay, like, this guy is definitely maybe the greatest coach of all time because he was able to just rebuild this team after Tom Brady left. And now we're here. He's 2-8 or something with North Carolina and going to rec cheerleading games on his off time with his 24-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah.
Life comes at you fast, really fast.
It does.
All right. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We will be back next week. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on Draft America. Go check out Spring Hill Sports Cards as well. They're going to be doing 2 episodes a month during the off season of the cycle. They are not doing 4 downs. John just wasn't in it. Wasn't in it for football. So, we do this because we enjoy it, not because, we do it for the audience or anything. So anyone who's watching this far, thank you for watching. Again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you